And more Border Patrol agents to Minneapolis as protests in the Twin Cities and beyond heat up over the ICE-related shooting. Here to react is Minnesota Congressman and House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. So great to see you this morning, Congressman. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, there's a lot. You've got a lot going on back at home there. What can Republicans in Congress do to find out who is fomenting all of this violence?
Well, Charlie, it's sad that Minnesota is in the news for this, but I don't know that we have to do much more. All you got to do is watch. You've got Tim Walz literally sounding like Jefferson Davis. Our governor is saying, we're at war with the federal government. He claims that he can call the National Guard out. They want to tell people to go ahead and protest, but what they're literally doing is encouraging more violence, whether it's our governor, Tim Walz, who's been a complete failure, or it's our attorney general, it's Mary Moriarty. We've got a Hennepin County, that's Minneapolis, Charlie, prosecutor who wants to do her own investigation now. Keep in mind, this is the same prosecutor that withheld exculpatory evidence for a Minnesota State Patrol officer accused with excessive force. What does that mean, Charlie? She wouldn't share it with the court. She got caught hiding evidence that would have, and it did. It ultimately ended in dropping the charges. But in this case, you don't have to go very far to look and see who is fomenting all of this violence. And to claim that these people are peaceful, Charlie, they're yelling, save a life, kill ICE. That's not peaceful, and that is not appropriate. Tim Walz should have come out right away and said, everybody be calm, withhold your judgment. We know that this is a very sensitive matter. Let law enforcement do their work. Then the director of public safety should have been on right after that. And instead of giving a list of what you can do to peacefully protest, quote unquote, he should have come out and said there will be no violence. There will be no property destruction. If you do that on our streets, we will hold you accountable and you will be arrested. So just be on notice. None of that happened. And then you got a boy toy mayor, somebody who's not mature enough for the job, yelling the Effenheimer about getting ICE out of his city. It's very clear who is fomenting it. And another big story that broke last night is the Minneapolis Teachers Union announced that kids, because this is a tough time, Charlie, kids can learn virtually until February. Right. Wrong message, wrong behavior. And it's the reason why Minneapolis public schools have lost 20% of their students in the last 5 years. And they're expected to lose another 6,000 in the next year.
And, of course, also falling dramatically in terms of reading and math results as a result of that remote learning. What is it about Minnesota voters that they keep returning people like Jacob Fry and Tim Walz to office?
Well, they're two different things. I mean, Jacob Fry, his electorate is way to the left. I mean, remember, they had a candidate that was referred to as Mondami from the Midwest. So this is what they're dealing with. And he's not a leader. What he's doing is he's running in front of a violent mob and he's saying, follow me, Charlie. He's not saying anything that a leader would say to control his city. Tim Walz is a completely different thing. Tim Walz is a statewide candidate that barely gets over the line. I don't think people realize in the last election, he only won 13 of 87 counties. And in the 74 counties in greater Minnesota that he lost, Charlie, he got 37% of the vote. Minnesotans are waking up. They are sick and tired of this political nonsense, whether it's Tim Walz, whether it's the mayor of Minneapolis, whether it's the Minneapolis Teachers Union. And I just have to throw in one more. The Star Tribune, the main paper in this state, should be ashamed. These guys are trying to get ICE officers killed. They are proud of the fact that they doxed the officer who, that unfortunate lady who decided she was going to do this, who she hit and who she harmed. They put his name and his picture in the paper and they're celebrating it. They're trying to kill these people.
Well, it certainly is a grave situation, and I hope that somebody grows up and puts an end to all of it before more people get injured. Tom Emmer, thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlie.